Plaintiff Rebecca Davis says the defendant is her brother, and he was recently convicted of breaking into a home, beating up the homeowners, and stealing their property. Rebecca's suing because she paid for the defendant's attorney, but he has yet to repay her. Defendant Angus Teeter admits that he was arrested for breaking into someone's home, but he insists he was only convicted of aggravated robbery. Angus is countersuing for monies paid for attorney fees.
Start with you.
Okay. And I apologize, I'm a little emotional.
Give us some tissue.
This is my brother Ricky here. And my brother Angus to the left of me. Angus has always been kind of the baby of the family. He's the first of my mom's new marriage out of 4 children. And he's gotten into a lot of trouble, but never really paid for his actions. He has no idea what he has done to our family, what his actions have caused for us. When he was 14, he dropped out of school. He started smoking pot. Shortly after that, in January of 2009, he got in trouble for breaking into a car and possession of alcohol, and was given a diversion sentence and community service at that point. Then in June of 2009, he got into trouble for breaking into a house with some of his friends. And not only did they break into the house and steal a bunch of items, they also beat up the people inside.
Wow.
He was put up against 9 felony counts at that point.
Convicted or exonerated?
Convicted.
What was the sentence?
Not true.
Ultimately, after getting a lawyer, he was able to get off basically with the slap on the hand.
What was the slap?
The slap on the hand was he was given probation.
For all of that?
Yeah, and restitution.
Do you have his lawyer's name? I know a lot of people want that lawyer.
Yeah.
And the judge. Lord have mercy. And if the victims are watching, I don't mean to make light of this. So you tell me about this. Let's get past this part before we go to the loans. Did that happen, young man?
Yes, everything that she said did happen, other than the fact of what I was convicted of. I was only convicted of aggravated robbery, and I did my jail time for that.
How long?
I did 67 days without bond, and then they gave me 2 years of intensive supervision probation, and I actually revoked or got in trouble for a hot UA with that, and they revoked me, and I did 6 month sentence.
He did 6 months work release, Your Honor. So again, he got another slap on the hand.
But I also did that in county.
He's never paid for his actions.
Did they ever order you to get GED or
I have my GED.
Okay. What have you done since then?
Since I've actually gotten out of jail, my release date was June 11th of 2010. Since
over a year ago.
I've moved out of my parents' house. I'm on my own now.
Doing
I'm
what?
I'm a groundskeeper for HOA, Homeowners Association.
You don't intend to advance beyond that? Another more prosperous career? Or
Yes, I do intend to
what?
build from
Do
this.
you have any idea what?
Hopefully something in management.
Business management? What are you saying? Management?
Property management.
Okay. Because, you know, if you've been clean for a year, maybe there is some hope for you to stay clean. All right. But that'll only happen if you obtain further training and if you continue to work. Because if you're working during the day and you're going to school at night, you'll be too tired to be a criminal.
That's true.
All right. Go ahead. All right, ma'am. So let's see what he does. In the meantime, you have anything else you want to give me on background?
And she's just saying stuff to try and make me look bad. I mean,
Your Honor,
it's all
even now
drama.
he is driving without a driver's license, no car insurance. I mean, he's
So
not.
is my audience coordinator.
That's
That's not a big deal. I mean, they do that. Corey doesn't have license to first. He's driving around. That's why
his car too.
Right, I asked his mother to come today to straighten him. Miss Wells, of course, she's laughing there. I don't mean to embarrass you, Miss Wells, but I think if I had to call her to come today and straighten him out. Now he's back there falling out. That ain't gonna help you, Doc. That ain't gonna help you. So, what are you suing him for? These unpaid loans?
What happened, my mom was very distraught when Angus went to jail in June of 2009. And he has no idea what it did to her and our family. She basically called me every day while he was incarcerated crying. And my heart hurt for her as a mother. And so when it came up to the time where he could
How do you know he didn't feel it?
He didn't feel it. His biggest concern was getting his pencil taken away because he had bad behavior, you know. Not only did they break into the house and steal a bunch of items, they also beat up the people inside.
Wow.
He was given probation.
For all of that?
Yeah, and restitution.
Do you have his lawyer's name?
Plaintiff Rebecca Davis is suing her brother because after he was arrested for breaking into someone's home and assaulting the homeowners, she paid for his attorney.
Did you know the hurt that you're causing your mother?
I know that it definitely took a toll on everybody.
All right.
My
So
family.
I hope that's a motivation for you. And because I went through almost the same experience as you. Arrested a few times as a juvenile delinquent. Then at 17, tried as an adult. And spent 9 months in the county jail. You spent 6. My mother, single mother, raising 4 boys in the housing projects, working 2 jobs. It hurt her immensely, but I really didn't recognize it until I was in jail that last 9 months. She contracted cancer and died 11 months later. And that guilt motivated me. So hopefully you have your mother with you still, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll motivate you knowing that you hurt her so much. It hurts. You're embarrassing her in front of her friends. You embarrass her in the community. You embarrass her at church. You embarrass her to the family. So that hurts. You probably hurt her every day. She probably feels hurt every day about it. She probably thinks about it every day. And quite frankly, you could kill her with stress, all right? So hopefully that'll motivate you to try and redeem yourself in your mother's eyes. I was able to somewhat. I was in my 3rd month of college. When I got out of jail, I was on the fast track because I knew she had cancer and they said she wouldn't live beyond a year. And she passed. You got me? You don't want that to happen.
Definitely not.
And so let this be an inspiration to you. And the loans are for what, ma'am? I'm trying to get this out the way and talk some sense into him, and hopefully I have.
Right.
What loans?
I hope so too. The loans, I paid for the attorney who was able to get him out of jail and get the sentence of the probation with the restitution.
He should got a bonus.
Yeah.
For the little sentence he got.
Yes.
$5,000 is what you paid, I understand, right?
Right.
And he agreed to repay it?
Yes, and I did bring the record of repayment here with me.
Young man, what do you say to this? So she got you out, paid $5,000 for the attorney, and you agreed to repay her, and indeed you have repaid her some.
I never actually agreed to repay her. My mother was the one that was begging for the money for the attorney just to get me out.
Angus actually did promise to repay me, Your Honor, and I have a statement from my mother. During a visit that her and I were both present at, he did promise to repay me.
Whatever you do, out of all the trouble you've caused your mother, don't call her a lie.
I never agreed to it.
All right, because I might jump on you.
My mother may
If
have
you call
agreed.
your mother after all the trouble you caused your mother, if you stand up here and say, my mother's alive, we might have a problem. I wouldn't do that. I would never do that. I'm just giving you an example of how enraged I would be, and I'm sure the viewers would, particularly after we've talked such a good game about you turning your life around. So let's get to the agreement. You say you never made one. She says she has a letter from your mother stating that you did. So my question is, why did you pay?
The only reason that I paid her back was because I was still living under my parents' house at the time, and I was forced to, otherwise I wouldn't have a place to live.
Your
If I
Honor,
didn't
if
pay-
you look at the payment record, though, he paid me.
When did you move?
I moved out January 2010.
When did you stop paying? When's the last payment? May. She has May of this year. That means that's not the only reason you were paying. Because if that was the only reason you were paying is to stay in your mom's house, you would have stopped immediately after leaving. Instead, you continued to pay for over a year after you moved. So that doesn't sell. Through almost the same experience as you. Arrested a few times as a juvenile delinquent and spent 9 months in the county jail. My mother contracted cancer and died 11 months later. And that guilt motivated me. So hopefully that'll motivate you to try and redeem yourself in your mother's eyes.
Plaintiff Rebecca Davis is suing her brother because after he was arrested for breaking into someone's home and assaulting the homeowners, she paid for his attorney.
The counterclaim you're suing her for, $2,215, how does she owe you?
Because that's all the money that I've given her since I moved.
For the attorney.
For the attorney, yeah. I never agreed to pay any of it back.
But you did pay. You affirmed the agreement she alleges by continuing to pay. You're coming across like you do want to change. I know game when I see it. I don't get the impression that you're gaming me. However, today I'm going to order that you repay her because I believe that you were repaying because you knew you owed and you agreed to pay. So I'm going to grant you your judgment and dismiss yours. Your claim is that you want your money back. That you've already paid for this attorney that got you the best deal I've ever heard of. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Angus, I'm really saddened that it had to come down to this.
Me too.
And I wish that you would just really take responsibility for your actions and try to do good.
If he was paying that,
happened?
him paying you is taking responsibility for his actions.
He's not paying me, Chantel. He's not paying me. He stopped paying me in May.
As soon as you tried to take me to court.
I've even offered.
Or when Chantel lost her
No,
job.
I am not a control
doesn't
freak,
matter.
Chantel.
He sucked so much money.
Chantel, no.
Do you think he paid for his
Ricky has
Ricky
been.
Village passes?
Ricky,
I paid for them.
No.
Oh, you
I paid for them.
Ricky-
And you reimbursed him for it.
Ricky-
You just hand out money to anybody who asks for it, Becky.
Ricky, you need to shut your mouth,
shut your
Chantel.
mouth.
You have nothing to do with
I
this
got everything
family.
to
No,
do
you
with this.
don't.
got more
You're
than
not
you
a
do.
part of our
At least you
family
talk
at
to
all.
our mother.
Whatever.
And your mom.
I do
You talk to
talk
our
to
mother.
my mother. Thank you. The only
you
reason
talk to
I'm
her,
not
you know.
talking to my mother is because you're dumb.
You're nothing but a sob story. You're pathetic.
No, you're pathetic.